welcome to Hedgehog Hollow. Today I am back with CrafTangles and I'm going to be showing you some more ways to stretch your stencils. First of all, we're going to create a fun background using some Nuvo Embellishment Mousse as a lovely gorgeous gold background, and then I'm going to show you how to showcase your stencils to create the perfect piece to highlight your card on the front as well. So no stamping, just a perfect way to work with stencils. As always, I have lots of tips and techniques for you, so let's get started. So today we're working with two CrafTangles stencils. This one is called Doodle Around, and you can see there the fun designs that have been doodled in there. And then we're going to be using another one called Indian Motifs to create an accent piece to go on the top. So we often use stencils as a background, but I think we often forget that they can also be a central element. You don't necessarily have to stamp something. I'm going to be using this one here. So first of all, I have a Ranger Craft mat, which will be great because it will save us lots of clear up, particularly on this new white surface. And do leave us a comment if you like or maybe don't like the new surface we're working on. We're hoping it's clearer on the videos. I'm just going to use some little bits of masking tape to put this down, which I'm going to remove as I work around. Then I'm going to be using the Doodle Around stencil. So again, I'm going to use just a little bit of tape on the top, and we can move that tape as we work in the different areas. So to start with, I'm going to start with some Nuvo Embellishment Mousse, and this is in the Indian Gold. It's a lovely gold colour here. So I'm just going to pop my finger in, like so. And you could use daubers and things, but I just find that using your fingers gives you much more control and gives you a much better result at the end here. So I'm just putting the mousse into all these smaller areas, and I'm going to work my way around the whole panel here. This is some Bristol smooth paper. I've cut it down to 3 3/4 by 5 inches for my matting layer. Finish your piece, you can lift up your stencil. The stencil is super easy to clean just with some soap and water, and I'm going to pop that to the side for a moment. So you can also see there that gorgeous gold sheen that we've got, and the paste also gives you some really nice texture. So sometimes it might build up in some areas, and in other areas you can see you've got a much smoother look. So I really love how that's come out, and it's got some great sheen. I'll be sure to capture that in the pictures. I already have pre-cut a piece of black cardstock as a matting layer. So this piece is 4 by 5 1/4 inches, and I'm going to just stick this straight down using some Tonic funky tape, like so. And you can see a little bit transferred onto my surface, but I can clean that away in just a second. I wouldn't recommend using your heat tool to set this. Just air dry it for a few minutes. So I'm going to pop that to the side whilst we work on our next layer. Cleanup wise, of course, I have my stamp chamois here, and everything just wipes away so easily with that. Let's wipe our surface clean. And I'm going to again use that Ranger craft sheet. I have a piece of white cardstock that I have cut to 2.5 inches square, and then I will trim it down accordingly once we have used our stencil. I'm going to be using some picked raspberry distress oxide and one of my Barber's brushes. Now, if you don't have the oxide, you could use another colour of oxide, or you might want to use just a regular distress ink. Use whatever you have in your supplies, and Unless you're particularly smitten, of course, with this colour, which I am. I love this colour. I was so pleased when I heard it was coming out in the Oxides. And I will, of course, have all the links underneath the video for you. That will be in that description. And if you're watching on a mobile device and you want to know where those links are, just click that downward arrow that's to the right, bottom right of the video. And on a desktop, click the Show Me More button. And that will give you links to the blog where you can find all the pictures you see at the end. And also it gives you a supply list for this project. So I've loaded up my Barber's brush. I'm just going to pat a little bit off on the side. I use my tape to hold it down. And now I'm just going to work backwards and forwards and build up that colour through my Indian motif. It also kind of reminds me a bit of a fleur-de-lis. And I'm going to love the punch of this pink on there. A nice gold, black and pink card. Really elegant, perfect for birthdays. Maybe a thank you card if you've been a guest somewhere for Thanksgiving and wanted to send a little notelet. Or just a thinking of you card, of course, as well. So when you lift this piece up, like this, we have that gorgeous motif on the bottom. Now the Distress Oxides will take a little bit, just a few minutes to dry. So I'm just going to allow mine to dry, or you could use your heat tool to quickly set it as well. How I trimmed down my little motif to go in the middle. I'm going to use some of the Tonic Funky tape to mount it onto that black piece that you saw me cut as well. And it's going to be on the angle when we mount it onto our card. So again, I'm going to mount my gold piece, and I'm just going to grab that craft mat just in case there's any part that isn't dry, although I have left it a few minutes now, so we should be fine. And you can choose which way up you'd like it. So I think I'm going to have these flowers here to the bottom. Whenever I mount up, this is a piece of Nina Solar White, 8.5 by 11, cut lengthwise, and I have them cut in bulk by the FedEx store because I find that that's an easier way to go. Then I'm going to grab my little motif here and my big roll of the Scotch tape that, of course, I'll link up for you. I find it's much better value, and if I cut a large piece like this, I have any left over, I just pop it on the side of my roll, and that keeps it nice and sticky for the next use. And because I want to have some extra dimension on this, I'm going to double up the tape. So I'm going to put one layer on like this, then I'm going to peel off, and I'm going to place another layer of foam over the top just to give it some double dimension. Great way of creating custom depths. Sometimes you might want something higher at the bottom or lower at the bottom. You can do that adding different layers of foam. And then I'm going to pop this on again on that angle. Now I'm going to leave the sentiment for this one blank. I may add it at the time of sending, but I love the pop of all those colours together and how all those stencils just complement each other with lots of dimension and texture. Thanks so much for joining me here today for my final H&D MD regular design post. I will be back with some guest posts when they have new releases, so don't worry, we'll have still lots of ideas for you. We will generally still be stretching our stencils as well, plus you can see lots of pictures on your screen of this card, and so you're welcome to pin those or save them, and they're all available on the blog for you as well. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up for this video and hit that subscribe button or stamp it if you prefer, and I'll see you again very soon in another tutorial. Happy stamping! Bye!